What's up, everybody? Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault, and today I'm going to talk about the skinny on sugar and sugar substitutes, so stay tuned. All right, before we get into the tips, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll be notified every time we put out a Healthy Living video. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about sugar and sugar substitutes. So the first thing we're going to go over is granulated sugar. That's the white sugar that you see on the table. Everyone sees it. It's all over the place, and it's your regular basic sugar. So granulated sugar has 16 calories and has 4 grams of sugar and 4 grams of carbs. Unfortunately, because it's been processed and bleached, that's why it's white like that, it has no nutritional benefit at all. So when you're consuming this, you're not getting any nutritional benefit. So 16 calories per teaspoon may not sound a lot, but when you think about it, most soda has a teaspoon of sugar for every ounce in it. And so you're talking about so for a 16 ounce can of soda, typically it has 256 calories in just that drink. And that's a lot of calories. A super big gulp, because I see people walk out of 7-Eleven all the time with these big, 40 ounce super big gulp, and that's not even the biggest thing that's out there. There's even bigger ones than that. But that has a whopping 640 calories, and that doesn't even count the calories when you're drinking it down with 3 of those hot dogs that they walk out of there with. So just to let you know, there's an awful lot of calories in sugar, and it adds up because a lot of stuff has a lot of sugar. Like candy bars, it has a ton of sugar. It's just not a little sugar, it has a lot of sugar. And it has no nutritional benefit. That's one of the bad things because it's been processed. What we're going to compare that to is right now some natural sugar substitute. So let's talk about honey now. So honey has 20 calories, 5 grams of sugar, and 6 grams of carbs. So yes, it has more of everything than table sugar has, but it also has some nutritional benefits to it because it's an antioxidant, it's antibacterial, it's antifungal. Now, it's not vegan, but it has all those other things in it. So if you're vegan, you probably wouldn't go with it. Some vegans do. It kind of goes back and forth, but most pure vegans are not going to go for honey. But if you're not pure vegan and you go for it, there's some benefit to honey over granulated sugar. If you are vegan, I think one of the best natural sugar substitutes out there is 100% maple syrup. And the reason why I say 100% maple syrup is because if you go out and you look at different maple syrups, you'll find, if you look at the ingredients, you'll find that a lot of them have a lot of junk in them. They'll have sugar and added sugar, added all this other stuff. So make sure if you're reaching for it, and I always go for organic, so I always get organic 100% maple syrup, and being vegan, I do that instead of getting the honey now. I used to eat honey. And when I used to get honey, I used to get 100% organic raw honey, and that way I got more of the nutrients from it. Because you could look at honey too, there's a lot of bad stuff in honey. But let's look at the table for maple syrup. You'll notice there's 18 calories, which is less than honey, 4 grams of sugar, which is the same as table sugar and less than honey, and 5 grams of carbs, which is somewhere between the honey and the granulated sugar. It does also come with potassium, and it also has a little bit of iron in it. So the nice thing about that is there are some nutritional benefits for it. So when you reach for that, it's still going to be better than some of the other stuff I'm going to go over in a minute, which is more processed and more chemical. So the next two I'm going to talk about are, I would say, processed but more natural and less chemically than some of the other ones that I'm going to go over. So the next two are Stevia and Truvia. So let's look at Stevia. The good thing about Stevia and Truvia, I'll just say both, they have 0 calories, 0 grams of sugar, and 0 grams of carbs. So if you're trying to lose weight, it's probably a nice alternative. Now getting back to Stevia, Stevia comes from the Stevia plant. So it sounds like it's natural, but it's an extract of the plant. So it is processed a bit. And because of that, it's a diuretic. And there have been some studies that it may harm kidneys, may harm the reproductive and cardiovascular system, and because of that, it's actually been banned in some countries. Some European countries and India have banned it, actually. It is allowed in the United States, but there are studies out there, so it's a little more controversial than if you just went with the natural way. But the nice thing about it is, it has no calories, no carbs, and no sugar. So if you're trying to lose weight, it might not be a bad way to do. But there is no great nutrient benefit from taking it. Truvia, I'll just say is actually, and I didn't know this until I studied this, Truvia is actually made up of the stevia leaf extract. So it has some stevia in it actually, and it has urethral in it and natural flavors in it. So it does have some chemicals in there. It's processed, and it's been known that too much of it can cause an upset stomach. Just throwing that out there. But those are two, I would say, are a little bit more natural than what I'm going to go over next, but still, not as natural as something like honey or maple syrup. So the next thing I want to talk about are the ones that are more processed and more chemical. The first one I'm going to go over is Sweet and Low, and Sweet and Low is in that pink package that you usually see, and it has saccharin in it is the main ingredient, which is 500 times sweeter than sugar, so you don't need a ton of it. It also has dextrose and cream of tartar, so it does have some chemicals in it. It's made in the lab by oxidating the chemicals, and that's why it's really, really processed, really chemical. And so to me, for someone like me who tries to live a very natural life, it's not something I would ever eat. But the nice thing about it, it has 0 calories, 0 sugar, and only 1 gram of carbs. Now, it has been linked to a study of possible bladder cancer in rats, but it's found that it doesn't cause that necessarily in humans. And so that's why it's still out there. And it also has been known that it might disrupt the balance of bacteria in your gut, which is not something you want to mess around with, because gut health is extremely important in overall health. So just want to throw that out. That's what Sweet and Low is all about. Equal, you typically would see in that blue package. It has aspartame in it, dextrose, acetylfame, I can't even pronounce it, acetylfame potassium. So it's not potassium, acetylfame potassium, which is a processed chemical. It's not potassium like you would get from a banana or an avocado. It has starch in it, silicon dioxide, maltodextrin. So it's just a lot of processed chemicals that are in Equal. Equal comes with 5 calories, 0 grams of sugar, and 1 gram of carbs. So I'm not sure why anybody would reach for Equal, to tell you the truth, because it's processed and also has calories in it. It just seems like there's better things to go for than that one, but I'll talk all about that at the end. The last one I'm going to talk about, because I can't talk about every single sugar substitute out there because there's just so many, and then this video could only last so long. But and if you do have any comments on other ones that you want me to look at, leave it in the comments below, and I'll look at those too and put out an additional video on that. But Splenda, so Splenda is 95% dextrose, also has maltodextrin in it, and a small amount of mostly indigestible sucralose. So not sucrose, but sucralose, which is a chemical again. It's not sucrose to sugar, it's sucralose. It may raise blood pressure, or blood sugar, and also raise insulin levels. So not anything you really want in your life. It also may damage bacteria in your gut. Again, gut health is, everyone's talking about it, as you know. Gut health is extremely important to overall health. Also, it's been known that cooking with Splenda may release harmful chemicals. So if you're gonna cook with anything, I would pick any of the other ones, even though I'm not crazy about a lot of them. I would pick any of the other ones over Splenda if you're gonna cook with it. It's not one that you wanna cook with. So those are all the ones I wanna go over. So let's talk a little bit about what I think. So in summary, I think the best thing you can do if you wanna live a healthy life is to try to train yourself to use less sugar or sugar substitutes. You could do that by just reducing the amount of sugar that you add to anything. So obviously I'm not saying to take the sugar out of an orange. It's already in there anyway. It'd be very difficult to get it out. I wouldn't know how you would even do that. At least that sugar comes with nutrition. There's a lot of nutrition in fruits. But I would train yourself to use less of it. So instead of like I know that I used to drink coffee with sugar in it decades ago because I'm old, but now for decades now I haven't. When I drink coffee, I don't put any sugar in it at all, and I just drink it the way it is. In my matcha tea, when I make matcha tea, it's a little bit more sour, so I like to put something in there, and so I put a teaspoon of maple syrup in there, and 100% pure maple syrup. and organic. And so, I'm getting a little bit of benefit from nutrient benefit, but it's also, that's not too bad calorie-wise because I'm not putting that much in there. But train yourself as much as possible to go without it or to reduce it down. And you'll find that your taste buds will change and you'll actually enjoy the food. It was the way that it was meant to be eaten, because we weren't meant to put all this stuff like sugar and salt and pepper and all this stuff on food. So if you can reduce down like the amount of salt and the amount of sugar you put on food, the added amount of salt and sugar, then you're going to learn, your taste buds will learn to like the food the way it was intended to be. And so I definitely recommend going that way. Now, if you're going to go with a sweetener and you want a healthy alternative and you're not overweight, I definitely would go for the natural ones that I mentioned. And that would be either the honey or the 100% maple syrup, and make sure they're organic. And I would go that route. And if you're vegan, obviously, I would just go with the 100% maple syrup. That's what I do because I'm vegan. And so I go that route. And it's up to you. It's up to anyone what they want to do. So just whatever works for you works for you. But if you want a healthy alternative and and you don't really have a problem with weight, I would go that way. If you do have a problem with weight and you're trying to lose some extra pounds, I would probably go more with the two that I mentioned, Stevia and Truvia, that are a little bit more natural than the other ones, and that way you're not really going to get any kind of nutrition benefit from them, but at least there's 0 calories, 0 grams of sugar, 0 carbs in all of those, and both of those, and so you don't have to worry about getting too many carbs in your diet. So it's a good way to go that way if you are trying to lose weight. And I would definitely stay away from those ones that are very processed, like I would stay away from processed white sugar. I think that's a killer. I know it comes from a natural plant, but it's just a killer because they just process it and rip everything out of it, and people just eat it like it's nothing. And so I would definitely get that out. I think it's addictive almost, so you really want to get I would stay away from processed white sugar at all counts. And I would also stay away from the sweet and low, the Equal, the Splenda, and whatever other chemical type of artificial sweeteners that are out there. I would just shy away from them as much as possible. So that's all I had to say. If you have any comments on any of this, if you agree with it, great. If you don't agree with it, great. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts. And if you have any other sugar substitutes that you like, whether they be natural, not natural, whatever, leave them in the comments below so that we can all can share. And also, if you liked this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. That means the world to me. And also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll be notified every time I put out a healthy living video, which is every week. And at the end of this video, you're going to see a video pop up, and if you want to continue your healthy living journey, click on that video and you'll learn actually more about how to live a healthy life. And until the next video, I'll see you. See you, everybody.